Welcome back, everyone, to Curse of the Vistani, episode 13. Hopefully, nothing unlucky happens this time. So,
Why would 13 be unlucky?
Because it's an unlucky number.
Oh.
Yes.
For who?
Suspicious?
Like Friday the 13th and all that.
It's not a lucky. It's not an unlucky number for everybody.
Yeah, true.
I know 7 is one, isn't it?
7
Unlucky?
is a lucky number. 7 is lucky.
7's
not
unlucky. Not in Japan, no, it's not.
It's unlucky.
4 is an unlucky number in Japan.
Yep, 4 and 7. Yep.
Also,
Oh,
isn't 3?
That's death.
Yeah, it's because of the word that they use for
Right.
those numbers.
Well,
Gotcha.
use alternative words. The words you use, the old words sound like sheen, not sheen, but she, which is word for death.
They use yon now.
Yon
right?
and yon and nana are 4 and
Mhm.
7.
So yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yon is
Anyways,
4,
continue.
Nana is 7.
Yep.
I actually just recently learned that. So I was trying to learn some Japanese. Anyways,
Each ni san yon.
last time let's see, what did we do last time? We got to town
Yes.
and
Went to
we
go see
dropped
blacksmith.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
went
we
to the
dropped off
blacksmith,
horses.
Dropped off horses, dropped off Ifrash at the blacksmith, and
Left
commissioned
them
some
with the
armor.
conversation.
Yes,
Mhm.
for Luna.
Made request for armor. They will take a couple days.
Yes.
Uh,
Because I don't
and
want
then
Luna
you
dying.
went gambling and nearly killed a fishman.
And I gave
Well-
a really good performance.
We also
Yes, you
ordered
did
fancy
order-
clothes.
Yes,
Yes.
you also ordered fancy clothes.
Meow.
Abby, shush.
But it's funny hearing you or seeing your thing light up with Abby
Isn't it
meowing.
though?
Ooh, that's slobber.
Oh, you got slobbered on.
Cat slobber. Because I was holding her mouth shut.
Our chats get to see him meow.
So, you guys ended last session by going to bed.
Yes.
So, you guys go to your rooms in whatever combination that you had previously decided. And Firedale, or Curio.
Yes.
So, you actually have a dream. Kind of special dream.
Okay.
It's a dream that's similar to an experience you had recently, where you are in the body of a griffin, flying through the sky and experiencing its life.
So
It's,
I had recently or someone else?
you did.
It was me?
Yeah. You
Was it?
ate. Yeah, you ate the cupcake.
Cupcake.
Or candy? Yeah, cupcake,
Uh-huh.
and it let you experience life through a griffin's eyes for 10 minutes. It was like 10 minutes in your mind, 10 minutes
okay.
worth of the life.
I didn't remember that was
but
me,
it-
but that's just my bad memory. Go ahead.
Yeah, you had a funny reaction to it and everything.
Okay.
So you have another dream that's similar to that experience that you had before. And when you wake up, you're like, oh. Or, sorry, when you wake up, what is your reaction to having that dream again?
That would probably be my reaction is, oh, or nifty, or
Yeah.
because it's a curious thing.
I figured it would be, but I figured I'd let you say that instead of me saying it for you. So, it was a fun dream for you.
Uh-huh. I
And
believe
Aurora.
I could meow.
Mm-hmm.
Aurora,
Yes.
so you have a good night's sleep, and upon waking up, you hear a familiar voice.
Oh,
Save them from themselves.
save them from themselves.
Mm-hmm. That is all you hear upon waking
Okay,
up.
that's
You're
eerie.
not even sure if
Yes.
it actually happened or not, but it sounded like the voice of your god.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say it, probably. I'm just like,
It was a
Nice.
voice you recognized.
I almost kind of like hearing it. I kind of like spring out of bed a little bit. Like I'm almost like ready to fight, but not actually like ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I calm down for a moment. I kind of grab my head, look around, see that everything is fairly familiar. It hasn't changed. I'm not home. I'm still in the same room, and I'm just kind of confused for a moment as I'm trying to piece everything together.
I forget who was your roommate. I think it was Callan, right?
Usually
Callan-
is because Callan doesn't sleep
Mhm.
much.
Yep. So Callan sees you like all confused, and he's like, "You all right there, bud?"
Yes, I thought I heard something, and I was looking to see if I was dreaming or if it was actually happening, but I'm not 100% certain.
Well, I don't really dream, so I couldn't really say whether or not it was a dream, but I've been here the whole time and I didn't hear anything.
I see. Just kind of sit back down and collect myself a little bit as I shake off whatever the effects of suddenly waking up were.
Okay. So then, that's it for the night stuff. I assume you all get out of bed and go to breakfast.
Pocket bacon!
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
Breakfast. Pocket bacon. Yes.
Excuse me.
If fire has taught me the phrase pocket bacon, now I will never forget it.
And my work is done.
Pocket bacon.
So you guys get out of bed, head over to the in-building tavern
Yes.
next for adventures to get your morning breakfast and your pocket bacon.
And I'll give Luna some pocket bacon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look around
Right.
and kind of look around and see who's in the area and see if I recognize any people immediately from the previous evening.
From the previous evening. Okay.
Just curious.
Go ahead and roll a perception. $19. So one you do recognize. You not from the night before, but you've seen him in here a couple times. Never really talked to him before. He is an ogre.
Okay.
And then there is another one in the corner who also looks a little familiar to you. It is a fishman.
Is that our fish man from last week?
Probably.
Is there anything you want to do with that?
If it is in fact the fish person from the previous night's performance, I would like to kind of walk over and make sure that they're okay.
All right. So you walk over to him. What do you say? He's
Hey,
sitting there.
you seem to be
eating
having a
some-
rough time last night. Are you doing better now?
Oh, you were at the tavern last night?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
performing.
Oh yeah, you were that girl. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know how my necklace fell off. It was strange. One minute I was fine, and then the next second my necklace wasn't on my neck anymore. It's
You
really
know, I've
weird.
heard that sometimes when you have a piece of jewelry and it falls off of its own accord, that means that something's going to happen.
Roll a deception check.
Okay.
So what's his insight check? Ooh.
Like, what
It's
do you
like,
mean something's
I-
gonna happen?
I mean, like sometimes it's a sign of good luck.
How so? He's
I don't
looking
know.
kind of
It's just
skeptical at you.
It's just something that I've heard.
You could always say that your
Okay.
mother used to tell you that.
I heard it. From what I understand, it just needs a new clasp.
That could also be true.
Can I
Yeah.
walk up hearing that and be like, do you still have is there broken pieces to the clasp?
Not that I could see, but I was gonna have it checked out
I have the
today.
ability to mend things. Would you like me to give it a try?
Oh, sure. That'd be great. I don't got any of that magic stuff. I'm just a ranger.
So I will. Can I see your necklace? Or do you mind if I
Uh,
put my hand towards you and try to mend it?
yeah, I'm not gonna take it off because then I want to be able to
No,
breathe, just like last night.
well,
But yeah,
obviously. But
he turns
I'm gonna have to
around.
touch you to do this.
Yeah, he turns around, and kind of holds on to the front of it,
Okay,
uh,
so I'll
like as
place
protection. Make sure you're not trying to take it off.
no. So I'll place my hand on the back of his neck so I'm touching it and mend
Okay.
or try to roll.
Are you actually mending, or are you
Doing my cantrip mending.
okay? All right. So you cast it. There really isn't anything to mend except for like a few scratches that were like on the front of it.
Okay then.
Uh,
Well,
so
well,
it wasn't the broken class because you know that it
yeah.
was just taken
But
off.
I'm doing that to like ease mind.
Yep.
Well,
Oh,
I did it.
thank
I
you.
don't know if it's gonna help much, but
And
possibly.
he grabs a mirror out of his pocket or out of his bag
Probably doesn't
and
look very
like holds
different.
it up so he can see it. He's like, "Oh, that nick on it is gone. Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
Ah, it saved me from an arrow.
Oh
Just
wow.
hit that instead of me and glanced right off it. Oh, it was so lucky. I would have been dead.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Huh?
Trying to help.
Y'all are
It's the
some
least
nice
I could
people.
do. Well, thank
Yeah.
you about that. We do
And,
try.
and you're a good singer too.
Oh, thank you.
I love watching Sappy's performances.
Oh yeah, she was great last night. I couldn't get enough. So while you guys are over here talking to him, um, the ogre gets up and makes his way over to the rest of your party's table, and he like slams his hand down on the table next to you, Aurora. He says, "You look strong. Want to arm wrestle?"
Who, me?
Yeah, you. You look big and muscular.
I kind of like, I'm like looking him over. I just to sense him, get a sense of his intent, and I'm kind of like, I just kind of nod and like a challenge.
So you're looking him over. He's like this big green ogre with like tusks coming out the bottom of his mouth and like a rank odor coming off of him. Obviously hasn't bathed recently. And so you're accepting his challenge?
Yes.
All right. So he sits down across from you and kind of pushes Callan out of the way so that he can sit there. He's like, oh, my bad, my bad. You can sit there.
Oh, a stick getting pushed around.
And he puts his arm up and hand out to accept yours.
And I, in kind, will put my hand out and
Okay.
be ready for the arm wrestling.
All right. So I want you to roll a d20.
Okay. Any D20?
Yep, just a d20. Straight up d20.
Okay.
All right. A nat 20.
Well then,
I
Yep.
think he
So-
wins.
All right,
Please
so,
don't smash the table with it.
So you grasp each other's hands, and Callan like puts his hand on top of both of yours, and he's like, "Ready? Start!" And as you start, you get a big old lead with a nat 20. It doesn't get him all the way down, but he's like right on the cusp of getting all the way down. You've like got him almost all the way there. I want you to roll another d20.
Okay.
the comeback
Have we
roll.
seen this happening by now?
Well, he's
yeah,
up
you
at our
guys could probably
table.
see it.
Isn't he?
All right. You two are over at a different table.
Oh, yeah.
talking
With
to the
Mr. Fish.
That's why I'm
Mhm.
asking if Saflin has
Yeah.
noticed it or not.
Yeah, you can notice it. You come over if you want. All right. So now you've got him almost all the way down, but he catches a like second wind and brings it up a little. Roll another d20.
Can Saflin call out, "You can do it, Nihon," and give him a bardic inspiration?
I just rolled a
Um,
physical dice and got a 20.
You could give him a bardic inspiration. Yeah.
Okay. He's within 60 feet. I could do that.
So his arm seems to be gaining power now, and you guys are back up to starting position at this point. So you had a
Nihon,
good burst
you have
at
a
the
1d6.
beginning,
Okay.
but now he's got you back up to middle, and you're kind of pushing back and forth on each other.
So
Roll another
it's-
d20.
Okay. And then a D6. Well,
Right.
that doesn't matter at this point. I mean,
A nat 1 roll. He gets a good old bit of strength, like and brings you down. You're almost to the table. Roll another d20.
I'm going to roll another one. Nope. Okay.
Nat 20. All right, now you get the second win. You bring it up, and you're back up to starting position. Roll another one. The 19. He pushes you. You're not like almost there. You're like a little ways to his side.
You
Roll
can
another
use
one.
that 1d6 to add to that roll whenever you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like
Oh.
now.
All right, so 5. With the 5, you bring it back up to starting position. You guys are going back and forth on each other.
I'm
This is
kind
a
of like
really strong match.
grunting, but also in between laughing. Like
Yeah, you guys are both like grunting, like, you are just as strong as I thought.
well met, sir. Well met.
Roll another d20. But not strong enough. And he pushes you back down
Oh,
a little
man.
more. Roll another.
Come on, Aurora.
Two.
You can
Oh.
do it.
I've almost got this. Roll another one. Pushing back up a little.
Not quite yet.
Roll again. Back up to starting position. You guys are really going at it. You guys are like starting to sweat now with all this strength you're exuding. Did you just roll the 2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, he brings it back down to his side. It's like, all right, he's almost got you to the table now.
And a nat 20.
And you bring him right back up with a burst of strength. You just go, and bring it back up to the top.
We're going to be doing this all night, so.
I
He brings
want to
it back
go
over to
over.
his side.
I want to go over to the table with the fish man and put a silver down and point at the ogre dude.
You're betting on the ogre dude?
Making a wager.
All right, so he's got you almost to the table now. Is anyone gonna take the wager? A crowd of a couple people have actually
probably should.
gathered around at this point
I
with all the
wanted to start.
grunting.
I might not be smart, but I'm smart enough to know if something's going on like this, you need to get a bet going.
So one of the other people watching is like, I'll take that wager. I'll put in 2 silver. Do you want to match it?
Nope, we're good.
Nope.
Whoever wins splits bottom.
Alright.
So
Right.
And with that, he
Mhm.
puts your hand to the table.
I was gonna say I got a bunch
You
of
have
shitty rolls.
lost.
Yep. Not really surprising. I always get bad rolls
Oh.
when I need
you
them.
did keep coming back a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he slams it down, and then he's like, "Yes!" And then just like sinks back into the chair, like, "My word, you are a worthy challenger."
And I kind of like I've lost, but I'm like I've enjoyed it. So I'm just yes, you are quite strong, friend. A well fought battle and a worthy adversary.
I thought I had you several times,
Ah,
but
I
you
thought
just
you-
kept
yes.
bringing it back. Name's Grog, by the way.
Grog, pleasure to meet you. I'm Aurora.
Oh, nice to meet you, Aurora.
Yes,
We'll
friend.
have to do this again sometime.
Perhaps we shall. But yes, enjoy your victory. It is well earned.
Tavern man, mead. And the bartender brings a cup of mead for him. Ah, yes! And he downs it all in one gulp. Curio picks up 2 silver and pushes the 3rd back to the person who bet. All right. So, yep, you made 1 silver off that bet.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Ah. And then he stands up and jaunts back over to his table with the empty cup in hand.
So he likes to challenge people who he thinks are strong. Got it.
He thought you looked like a worthy challenger, and you did not
You
disappoint.
didn't turn him down, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, your pocket bacon comes out.
Yes.
A whole plate
Get
of it.
bacon.
Yes.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All right. So you guys eat up the bacon, stuff some in your pockets for later, and finish up your breakfast.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
Nom, nom, nom.
I'll also sneak some for Luna. And I'm assuming Son would grab some for Morrow.
Well, and I would have requested a little bit of fresh fruit.
Okay, yeah, you'd get that as well. All right, so what would you guys like to do now?
What time is it?
It's still early morning.
So I
Probably
don't
like
think
about
clothes would
9.
be ready for pickup.
Probably not.
Shall we go around town looking for stuff like you wanted to for the travel?
Yes. Let's go shopping.
Shopping!
So you guys make your way to the market. What kind of shopping? Like food shopping or?
Supply.
I was gonna look for
Items.
survival gear.
Okay.
And Curio's player rolls his eyes.
So it wouldn't be the market that you guys go to, but you find a shop that is selling the type of things you're wanting. Howdy, how can I help you?
Hi. We are going to be going on an extended journey soon, and I was just hoping to see what you had that might make that journey a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, sure. Like what? Pillows? Sleeping bags?
Sleeping bags, different things that we might need to set up a camp, things like that along the way.
Oh, sure. I got camping stuff. Over in that aisle over there. And
So
he points to
Saflin,
a row of
yeah.
shelves.
So to give you specific items, Saflin is mainly looking for like campfire cooking utensils almost.
I was gonna say, do we
Kind-
have like a cast iron frying pan?
I mean, there's cooking gear that can happen.
We have some cooking pots and things that you've used.
I meant like as an out of character, like do we have that with us in our gear that we start with?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have some very basic stuff.
Yeah, basic stuff. You could definitely get some upgrades here, though. Fido, I almost made you spit out your drink, huh?
Like as an example, one of the things that you could possibly find would be like the cook's utensils, which just lets you pursue the craft of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It's an artisan tool.
Right.
So it would be a way to work on gaining a proficiency in something like that.
Mm-hmm. Get better at cooking, so that you're more likely to get like a bonus in the morning or something.
Right. Exactly.
That sounds good.
Yeah. You find some nicer pots and pans and some cooking tools that will definitely give you a leg up. The ones you guys have are kind of ratty. The
Probably dinged up and
the metal on like the metal coating of like the pots has been like coming off in the food a bit, so you're definitely due for a new one.
Well, how else are you supposed to get your daily intake of iron?
Well, you do have iron ore that you could eat.
true.
All right.
So
Anything
be
else you're looking
careful
for?
to swallow small pieces. You don't want to choke. Because I don't think
I
you can chew it.
believe we already have tents and things of that nature, so we should already have some of that.
Do we have
Um,
good sleeping bags?
Like we have a bedroll that we start with.
No, that's
Your
a
sleeping rolls
bag.
are probably a bit ratty as well, so you could definitely upgrade them.
Yeah, it's thin sleeping gear.
Yeah, you have like the most basic of basic supplies.
Right.
So probably everything you have could use an upgrade.
Right. Probably just
Probably
kind of
got rips in
upgrading gear.
Your wooden spoon snapped, type of thing.
Yeah, just basic restocks of things, and you
Well-
just let me know what that's gonna run me at the end here.
Okay. Anything else other than like just survival, cooking, sleeping stuff?
Would we have lanterns?
I'm curious as to we do have some on the rope of useful items as
Yeah.
patches, but
Okay.
I would actually be curious as to if there would be a way to get some of the gear enchanted. So like an enchanted water skin or an enchanted
like,
candle,
what?
stuff like that.
Enchanted to do what?
I'm
that fills
assuming.
itself with drink for the water skin.
Yeah, I was assuming it would be a infinite water source while we're traveling.
I believe there is.
There is a thing for that.
Yeah, there is an item that.
I was
is a
actually talking
decanter of
about that
endless
with.
water.
I was talking about that with someone the other day. He asked if we had one yet. I'm like, no, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd be able to encounter that here.
So that right there is a decanter of endless water.
I'm assuming we'd only need one as a group if we didn't mind sharing it.
That would be a little more expensive than the other stuff you're buying.
Well, naturally.
How
Yeah,
much
it's
would
an
it be?
enchanted item.
For a decanter of endless water, it would probably run you. Excuse me. It is uncommon. So we'll say.
It's a magical item, so
Yeah.
the actual decanter itself would probably be very expensive. Just a more basic version of a water skin with an enchantment on it might be less.
Yeah.
But not that specific item. Because I'm not
9,000
necessarily.
meteor.
Yeah, I'm not
9,000?
looking for the actual decanter of endless water, because the thing with that
Right.
one is that you can release the water as a geyser. I just want one that
Right.
For
when
drinking
I drink
water
it,
and cooking.
there's always drinking water in it. I
And
don't want to be
cooking.
able to empty it into another container or anything like that.
Right.
So, Lily, would we
you
all
could-
need
you
one
could
too?
definitely buy-
Or
So you wouldn't be able to buy an enchanted one here, but you probably could find somewhere to enchant it with that.
Okay.
so I'm guessing at that point we all would need a water skin then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I didn't think that I'd be able to obtain one here. I was just kind of asking about if I were to get enchanted or get items enchanted or looking for simple enchantments, would they know of a place?
Okay.
Would there be a place in
Let's
say...
say. Kinkus is
Right, is this
semi-platinum
town
for
big
me.
enough to have a place like that, or will that need to wait for Donnelly?
Not there. There's got to be a place around here somewhere. Let's see. The magic shop's out of business, so you couldn't go there. Might check the apothecary. He might be able to do a simple enchantment like that.
Oh, and we're
No.
friends with him. That might be interesting if he can.
Yeah. I mean, he can't do like really good enchantments or anything, but something simple like that, I'm sure he'd be able to pull off.
My thought is, should we buy one, see if he is able to do it, and if not, come back for more for the rest of us for our travel?
Well, we should all start with some plain water skins as part
Yeah,
of
we
our
have a
starting
basic
kits.
water
Yeah.
skin. We just aren't gonna have enchanted ones or anything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you
But
could get.
I was
like-
more just trying for a lead on would there be somewhere to get more than the basic supplies.
Mhm. He does have some nicer water skins, flasks or whatever for holding
Maybe
the
ones that
water than what
carry a
you
little
have.
bit more water.
Right. So you definitely could get an upgrade for your water jugs.
I would like to go ahead and get a water skin that just carries a little bit more water.
Mm-hmm.
For all of us?
Depending on the price point, yeah.
So your current ones probably hold like 1 pound of water. He
It
has-
actually says
Oh, does it?
4 pints of liquid.
All right, so I don't know how much pints is a pound. So 4 pints. He has an option that carries 8 pints and an option that carries 12 pints.
I'm seeing on mine it says 5 pounds.
It's 5 pounds, but the carrying capacity, it carries 4 pints of liquid in the description.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The object itself is 5 pounds.
Yeah, the object itself.
Okay.
So which one would you like, the 8 or the 12?
Let's go ahead and get a 12 that I can then empty into other people's flask.
Okay. And anyone else want an upgraded one? How many of these are we getting?
How much are they?
You have not inquired yet.
That was me asking how much are they.
Oh, so you're actually asking for
Yes.
let's see. All that together, or just the flasks?
Just the flask right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
So
thank you.
basic one, let's see. That one is 7 silver. The 12
Okay.
is.
Should I
The
hold
8
on to a
is,
second in the bag
5.
of holding, Lily?
Might not be a bad plan to have 2 people with a 12 that we can refill
Yep.
if needed. We can refill other people's.
Yep. So, yeah, can we get 2 of those 12 water skins, please?
Sure.
That way I can hold one and we can have a little bit more storage.
You want any 8s too? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Not at this time, I don't think. Unless somebody else in the party wants an 8.
We can always refill with the 12. We have 24 with that,
Right.
so. And all have ours filled before we leave, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you add those into your stuff. Anything else you're wanting?
Mm,
Can I get a new length of rope?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Get some rope.
All right.
Oh,
So you find a nice hemp rope to add.
Okay.
And
Double check if there's anything else that I wanted to look at in this list here.
and it's 50 feet.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity as a thought, would we get shovels and stuff like that here, or would we have to go to the blacksmith?
Probably the blacksmith,
Yeah, probably.
because that's more of a tool for work than
Mhm.
just general adventuring supplies.
Because, yeah, I just had a thought that I don't think we actually have a shovel on us, do we?
Nope, no spade.
We do have a pickaxe.
Yep.
I just had a thought that we might need a shovel one day if our cart gets stuck.
True.
We might want to look into one. Especially on a long adventure.
Yep.
Okay.
And I would have bought a set of cook's utensils specifically, which is a
Yep.
1 gold cost.
Mhm.
Just to put that
Alright.
in there.
So, bunch of sleeping bags, pillows. You didn't want tents. Flasks.
We already have
tools.
tents.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
all
think
of
that
that
would have come up.
would probably run you about 45 silver.
Okay.
So if you want to mark
I'll
that
go
off.
ahead and purchase that.
Alrighty.
We're still kind of hurting on funds, so can't get some of the stuff. Like I know Banana needs an alchemist set of tools.
Mhm.
But
I'm pulling
that's
out of
expensive.
personal for most of the survival equipment, rather than the
You guys did get back
bag
up
of
there
holding.
quite nicely. But you do still have the gems that you haven't sold yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the alchemist equipment is 50 gold
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because it's specialized.
I has
Well, and I was looking at stuff like the Dungeoneer's kit, which would have
Yeah.
packed a lot of those survival tools together, but
question.
we didn't need everything in it, so.
Okay.
Question. What would
Mhm.
tent be considered under for enlist? Because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it should just be 2-person.
Yep.
I
tent.
don't have one.
Everyone usually has one.
It's not in my list. I straight up don't have
Yeah,
one.
it didn't come with any of the starting kits. So we can get several of those.
You guys have used tents though, so we'll say you have them.
I'm sure we found them somewhere.
There was literally a map that you guys fought on with your tents as some
Yeah.
of the gear there.
That's pretty standard starting gear.
freebie
It'd be
tents.
odd if we didn't actually have one.
Right.
We collected them out while we were venturing before we came to this town.
They were in the
Right.
caravans.
So add tents.
We
to
had
your line.
extra ones.
I will add tent then. Because, yeah, I didn't have one because it goes rope, and then tinderbox, and then torch, and then water
You
skin.
guys have at least 3 tents.
And they are collapsible
Maybe
and
a fourth.
everything. So
I added
I
one.
wouldn't say all of you have one, but at least 3 of you do.
Mm-hmm.
2
So
in
I
one bag
added
and
one.
1 in Banana's bag.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for shopping.
Sorry, how
I
much
hope
did
y'all
we say it
enjoy.
was? I'm confused.
What?
45 silver,
Oh,
45.
okay.
which I have tallied off.
Okay. I guess I missed that part while I was looking for my... Yep, okay.
I've taken it out of my personal funds because I made quite a bit of coin last night.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't even make a dent in what I made last night, really.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then
Alright,
I
so-
guess add another water skin to mine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did anyone start with a block and tackle?
I don't believe so.
I don't know
For-
that any of us picked a kit that came with it.
For fishing, no. I have a hunting
No.
trap.
The block and tackle is the heavy
Alright, so you have
lifting
the-
ropes
Oh.
and pulleys one.
Oh,
have
the
the
pittons
rod,
It's in
and
the
stuff like
Dungeoneering
that?
kit.
No.
The-
That's like the pittons and things like that.
So what do I need to add?
Add a tent to your inventory if you don't have one in there.
So
Okay.
if you wanted to block and tackle Firedale, it would be 1 gold.
Okay. We need to go ahead and get one of those just in case.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at purchasing the Dungeoneering kit at some point, but
hmm
if we just need that one item out of it, because we've got most of the other stuff.
Yeah, because everything else is just the torches, the rations. It's the starting equipment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to add an additional hempen rope so that I have one that is not a patch.
You could either get block and tackle or fishing tackle, Firedale.
Yeah, the block and tackle is what I'm talking about.
He wants the exploring one.
Gotcha.
The one for dungeons that lets you lift people up, because I can
Oh, okay.
climb at will. Not
Gotcha.
everybody can, and if we ever do something that we need to hoist people up with, we'd need a way to
Gotcha.
do it.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were asking for like fishing gear.
No,
to
remember, I
use
have a
your
collapsible
pole.
fishing rod that comes with everything on it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I knew you had the fishing rod. I didn't realize it came with everything.
I am having trouble.
I can double
A
A
check.
water
and make
skin
sure.
is going to be a custom item.
Yeah, and my mouse is freaking out.
Yep, with a hook, a line, and a reel.
So the water skin's a custom item.
For
wasn't
me
water
and
skin,
Lily,
but-
yes.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, you would
what's
have to make
the-
a note on the one skin to.
What
What's
I can
the
do
weight?
is I can hand off my normal 4-pint water skin to somebody who, if they want to carry 2.
Callan would take it.
Okay, so I'll hand it off to Callan, so he now has a basic water skin.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't he already have one?
He has a second one now.
Yep.
The more the merrier.
You're amused by that, aren't you?
No,
Because that's essentially that person now has 8 pints of water. You know?
No, I'm looking through items to buy, and there's a cloak of billowing.
Oh yeah, I love the cloak of billowing.
Yeah, its whole effect is while you're wearing it, you can use a bonus action, and it will billow dramatically.
Yep. That's all it does.
Kind of like the
Dramatic
armor
flare.
of smoking.
Mm-hmm. Smoldering armor, yeah.
Yeah.
Similar effect.
What's the weight supposed to be for the custom one? Same thing as the other?
Yeah.
We're not measuring encumbrance, so I've just not bothered adding weights to the custom items, honestly.
Okay. So I'll leave this as is then.
Abby, shush. Stop making me meow on people's streams.
Have you seen it yet, Meteor?
I have not. I can get one of you pulled up though.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
And
now
of
I'm
course,
following.
she stops meowing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Meteor.
Meteor Freak is not
No problem.
following.
That was odd, but okay.
Well, I just pulled up your stream so I could see it. And I wasn't followed, so.
Just in case anyone is wondering or joined in late, today is mostly a chill, roundabout town stuff to get prepared for a long journey to come.
Yes.
All right, so you guys pay the man and exit the store. Where would you like to go now? It is around 10 o'clock now.
I think it's
So,
still too early to pop into the tailors.
no, he would be
Do we
open
have
at this point.
a library, or
We do.
I would
But-
like to go there.
Question, should we go see Rowan first and see if he can enchant a water skin?
I don't think we'd be able to afford it even if he could, but we could ask.
Or if he knows
An
of a place,
enchantment would
if he
probably
can't.
be a bit expensive. A basic enchantment like that won't be too terribly expensive, but
Because I don't think Ifarash would know how to do it, correct?
She
you
might.
could ask.
I don't know.
She is
What
an
should we do?
enchantress, so good odds.
Maybe
Uh,
she'd give us a discount.
So the clothes place is open at this point, so you could go check and see if your clothes are ready. You could go to the library, like Safflin wanted.
I mean, library can happen at any point the library's open. Honestly.
Mhm. And the library's open like all day and night. So
Yeah. Because I figured if people wanted to split up for any reason,
mm-hmm.
I could just sit in the library and do some research task to try to find out about where we're going and the terrain and things like that.
Okay.
Is there any real point in going to see Rowan then?
I mean,
I'm
we can,
confused.
but
Should we go see Rowan quick and then go to library?
I mean, there's a chance Rowan has something for us to do, maybe. We won't know unless we go visit him, but there's also a chance that it might be nothing.
Well, at least we can even inquire for the enchantment if he can, possibly, or what it would cost.
Yeah, let's go ask him what his abilities are as far as enchantment. That way we know later on if there are limitations to what he's capable of.
Why was there drool all over my armrest, Abby? Why are you so drooly right now? It's weird. So you guys make your way over to Rowan's then. Your apothecary friend.
Yes. Plus, I want to thank him.
There's more drool on my sleeve. Oh my gosh. What the heck, Abby?
She extra drooly today?
Apparently. I've never seen her drool this much. Anyways. So you walk into Rowan's shop and you see Rowan at the counter like normal. And you also see another woman in there as well, who you recognize.
Oh.
It is Ifrash.
Oh! Well, that makes, I guess, questioning both of them easy. I guess we walk in and wave at them and say, "Hi! How are you doing today?"
Oh, hi! Nice to see you again! Hey!
I don't know where to go from here. I guess.
He's like, hi! We just kind of wanted to look around and browse. We have a journey coming up that's going to take us up towards Donnelly, and we're just kind of looking to see what kind of things might help us along our way.
Oh, sure. Browse away.
Okay, and I'm going to do... Tell you what, Meteor, I'm going to do a perception check, and based on what I roll, you tell me if I find anything good. Or I can do investigation, whichever.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Literally just anything that looks interesting.
All right.
Like, would be helpful now or down the
Putting me on
line.
spot.
Well, I think what Meteor's asking is interested in what way, because there's lots of different ways something might be interesting.
All right, so
Like trinkets that stick out
Okay.
at me, kind of thing.
you find some bouquets of flowers,
Of course. Flowers.
pretty flowers,
Okay.
and what else would an apothecary have? That would be interesting. He has lots of medicinal stuff.
What kind of shop are we in?
Apothecary. We're back to see Rowan, the guy who gave me the book.
So he's got like potions. He's got like there's some vials of poison.
No,
If
thank
you
you.
need that. Um, he's got a section of flowers, non-medicinal, and medicinal flowers in another section.
And medicinal flowers in yet another section.
Mm-hmm. So that is what you see. Yeah, mushrooms.
Does he have spices that I could acquire for cooking?
Yeah, you would have spices.
That is what I would like. I would like to
Okay.
get some spices.
All right. Yeah, you get yourself a little spice kit
Okay.
with a nice variety of like salt, pepper, um, oregano, um, some like crushed red pepper type of thing.
Maybe mustard?
Yeah, you could have something like mustard.
I'm thinking like dried mustard type of. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking of random
Yeah.
things that I use.
Yep.
Well, I actually have on that sheet that I made forever ago for the trade goods tab. There's actually a list of spices
Ooh.
and what their value is.
Cilantro to ward people away.
Well, it's like
Like
salt,
Kinka.
ginger, cinnamon, pepper, cloves, saffron.
Please,
Like
no
various things.
cilantro. It
Yeah.
tastes like soap.
Right, so you get a kit that has a nice variety of that stuff.
Okay.
I will ask for a friend because this seems like the place that it might matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I will whisper in Safi's ear. Safi, do you see any potions that might change your hair color? Temporarily.
Does she want to change her hair color?
Why would I want that?
No, not you, but other people. We are going to a ball. Well, to the party thing. And I know San likes to blend in, and she has stark white hair because she's a drow. So
But we're
I have a
cats.
disguise kit. We can dye her hair the normal way.
okay,
Or you
Bes-
could probably get some wigs from the tailor.
Yeah.
at another 70 gold.
But I mean, we could look for fun potions like that as well, I suppose.
It
But
was
yeah,
just
I would pick up a thing of spices. Yes.
Okay. That'll be like 6 silver.
Kira will turn
And I
around
guess
and smile and admire Aurora's bald head.
while Saflin's paying, I'll go, and Rowan, I wanted to thank you for your book that you gave me again. I've learned a lot from it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my pleasure.
I appreciate it so much.
I'm glad it's getting some good use. Were my notes in it helpful?
Yes, amazing. I've been reading it for some time every night, trying to just absorb as much as I can.
Good, good. You'll be a great apothecary someday.
That would be amazing.
Uh,
I do want to help people after all.
and Ifrash comes up to Saflin while you're talking to him. It's like, well, hello there. What brings you guys here?
Oh, we're gonna be going on a journey up towards Donnelly soon, so we were just kind of
Oh,
looking for things that might make the journey a little bit easier on us or just more pleasant.
gotcha. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
We were actually
Prompting.
looking, probably not now. We're a little low on funds at the moment. But looking into the idea of maybe enchanting some of our basic
Ooh.
survival equipment later down the line, like the water flask and things like that, so that they don't have to be
Okay.
refilled as often.
Well, you know me. I'm an enchantress, so if you need some enchanting, I'm your girl. Uh, enchanting a water that's simple. I won't even charge you for that. I could at least double your capacity with a basic enchant that'll take like 2 minutes.
Oh,
That'd be great.
That's an easy one. Not even a challenge.
I wonder if she would do the both of them for us.
Yeah, sure.
So hand over the 12-pint water flask.
And I'll
Water
dig
skin.
mine out of my bag and hand it over to her as well. If you could do ours too, we've got a long or mine too. We've got a long journey.
Yeah, sure. So she pulls like a little something out of her bag and kind of like uh puts a little on each of them, and then like is kind of waving her hand around it, and she actually keeps talking to you guys while she's doing this, proving just how easy it is of an enchantment for her to do.
She doesn't even have to concentrate on it.
Right. So she just keeps talking to you like, is there anything else you guys needing enchanting, or uh, when are you guys leaving town?
I think we still have another day or two in town, at least. We're waiting
Okay.
on some clothes to get tailored, and
Oh,
we actually got some armor commissioned.
She was there.
anything cute?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
So
know
She
about
was
the
there.
armor.
She was there for the armor for
Yeah,
Luna.
the clothes are sound like they're going to be gorgeous. So
Yeah, we had to pick
should
up
be able
some.
to pick those up next.
We had to pick up some fancy clothes for the next quest we're going on.
done.
It said it was like a black tie
Gives you both
event.
points back.
My dress is
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's
You get
blue
anything cute?
and
It's a
it's
formal
poofy
affair.
dress.
Well, I want to see.
You want to come with us? We're about to go try to pick them up at the tailor.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Gotta
Okay.
see those dresses. And Callan's like, I got one too. And she's like,
You
you
got a
got a
dress?
dress? Oh, no, not, not,
He got a very tasteful suit.
no, not a dress. No, I got a nice outfit. Oh, okay. And he
Yeah,
just
I'm a
keeps
little
kind of
scared why
snickering to
Callan would
himself.
want a dress.
Poor thing.
He just keeps nervously snickering towards himself.
Somebody's got a crush. Saplin makes a mental note.
Well, she doesn't treat him like stick, so.
Yeah. So we will head to the tailor's.
Alrighty.
Thank
So
you
guys
again,
pay
Rowan.
for the spice kit. Yeah,
Yep.
no problem. And you make your way over to the tailor's, which is just a couple buildings down. So not too far a walk. And you walk in, he's like, "Oh, hello again. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you
I
too.
assume you've come to pick up your items.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
that's correct.
All right, give me one moment and I will retrieve them from the back."
Meteor gave up on French.
Oh, it was
Yep.
French, wasn't it?
It's
Yep.
okay. It's okay.
I knew it was like refined.
I figured he was trying to sound even more impressive now that Ifarash is with the party because it's another person. So he's trying really hard to be more impressive than the last time.
I just forgot what accent I gave him.
You're fine.
Yep.
Sorry.
So, yeah, he goes back to the back. And he brings them all out nicely wrapped up for you. Would you like to see the alteration? Sorry. Yeah, whatever. Screw it.
Is he asking if we want
Would
to
you
try
like to
them
see the
on
alterations?
to see if the alterations match what we were looking for, type of thing?
Yeah. Yep.
I would actually like to try mine on, please and thank you.
Of course. And for you, madam, and he turns to San. I did add those extra pouches and pockets that you wanted.
I'm sure she would be quite happy with that.
Yep, I'm sure she would be like, thank you very
try it
much.
on and let me know if they feel nice for you.
So I'll ask him, which one is mine so I can go try, please?
It would be that one there.
Okay, so I grab
and he
it.
pushes it towards you.
So I'll grab it and nod at him, and I'll be in the change room. So one moment, please. So walk off and go change in.
And Ifrash is like, "Oh, I'll come with you."
Okay.
And she goes to help you.
So yeah, get changed into dress and come back out.
You and Son both
do a
get
spin
changed into your outfits and come out, and they do fit very nicely. They're like perfectly tailored to you, proving how good of a tailor he is. He did take your measurements and everything, so they're like taken in like just
absolutely perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'd come out, do a spin, and show how my skirt floofs up and is gorgeous.
I will pet her head. You look adorable.
And she's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful."
And I'll blush and be like, "Thank you. I love this dress."
Sorry, I got pulled away for something urgent real quick. All right.
So they tried on their dresses. And Ifrash
Do you want to try on yours before we pack up and leave?
Yes, I would like to try mine on.
Did you have any alterations to yours? I forgot.
I don't remember. I don't think I necessarily mentioned any.
I know Son wanted them. Pretty sure Lilia.
I wanted pockets.
Wanted them.
And I'm guessing the ribbons.
On yours as well.
I'm guessing the ribbon bow for Luna is included in my package.
Yeah.
Mine was probably pretty standard.
Yep, yours was fairly standard. Taken in to match your measurements, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, you'll have to try it on just to make sure it fits absolutely perfectly. Plus, we get to show Ifrash.
Checking for fit.
And I'll just stand there swaying back and forth, watching my skirt go swish.
So yeah, you all try on the outfits, and like every seam is perfect. Every stitch is nicely done. No tears anywhere. It's just an absolutely perfect job that's definitely worth the money that you paid for it.
Excellent. So I'm gonna kind of twirl a bit, show it off for Ifrash.
So you did exactly what I did.
Yep, pretty much.
And she goes, "Oh yay!" again.
Gush over the flowers on the front of the dress because I sent a picture of what I was looking at last time, which was just like a soft kind of flowy, billowy thing with flowers down the front.
Where mine was
Alan comes out
blue
in his
one.
attire. He's like, "What about me, Ifrash? How do I look?" She's like, "Ooh, you look handsome," and she kind of like runs her hand down his arm, like giving his muscles a little squeeze. and then she looks at Lily and just kind of winks.
And I'm just gonna, I guess, shake my head a little bit and giggle.
Laughlin just gives a very, very tiny smile. So
Because yeah, I
Time for
imagine
Callan
my
to
dress
settle
made
down,
out
then.
of tulle. So
uses a I'm gonna use a small my minor illusion cantrip to make little hearts behind Callan where Callan can't see them and have them disappear almost immediately.
so she clued into the crush. Okay.
Oh, she noticed. She absolutely noticed. And just kind of give Ifrash a conspiratorial little wink as the illusion dissipates.
And she kind of snickers. And he's like, "What? What I miss?"
And Meteor, how did you get an image to show up
What?
in D20?
I think it's
Oh,
from
I that was straight from
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay.
Yep, D&D Beyond does that.
I actually
Okay.
thought it was going to put the description of it, not the picture. So I was
It's
surprised
supposed
to get a
to,
picture.
but yeah.
Hey, thank you.
So yeah. So you guys go change out of your clothes again. He wraps them up all nicely for you again, and he's like, I forget what price we said. Like, he asked for the money.
Didn't we
so
already
you guys
pay
get-
him?
It was
I paid him in advance.
yeah, it was like
it
70
was
or
a
something like that.
pay afterwards thing, but yeah, you've marked it
Okay,
up
well
already.
I've earmarked it for him.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
hand it over now.
And
Yep.
on my stream, I have what I imagine my dress to be, but shorter as a show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we actually never even mentioned that we have new
New
avatars
layout.
and things again.
Oh, I mentioned that about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I guess we did talk about the mouths opening, such.
But yes, I had Chibi's commissioned just to continue to clear up that thing. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, so just
Yes.
in case anyone's curious, we have new character picks thanks to Banana.
Yes.
And Meteor, myself, and Banana are live and are using them to show who's talking.
Except for me, I don't show myself with that. I show myself with my character.
Yeah, and Meteor has his cam.
Yep.
But I bounce. Boing. Boing.
Yep. I am
boing.
not live this week. I may in the future, but I just don't have a layout set up for it at the moment, so that's why.
If you want one, Nihon, just let me know. I've got it set up and can easily edit.
Okay. I will certainly let you know.
Okay. Anyways, back to what we were doing.
Yes.
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 Gone ahead and we've paid the man. We've stowed our clothing safely away in their garment bags, probably in the bag of holding.
I would think so. I'll carry mine if anybody else wants me to carry theirs and mine too. Split them up.
So we all now have a tailored set of fine clothing
Mm-hmm. I have it.
that we
Yes,
can
you were
add
very
to our
vocal in
inventory.
slobbery today. I understand. So you guys exit the establishment and start walking down the street to your next location.
Library.
And as you excuse me, as you are walking that way, you are approaching a goblin who is coming from the other direction of you.
Do I recognize the goblin?
You do not.
Does he have a bell
Or
on
not
him?
specifically. So he actually steps in front of you guys and is like, want to make some money? And as he's talking to you, yes, he does have a bell that you notice.
Okay. So he's part of Grimley's gang.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Do we want to help Grimley?
You guys look like some tough fellas, and he motions towards Aurora and Curio. Like, any interest in making some money?
I'll just tilt my head and look at Aurora.
I just kind of look back at everybody else and just.
Chaplin is at the very least interested in hearing him out.
Yeah, may as well hear him out.
I mean, if he's with Grimley's, it's probably fine. And if it's something that's not fine and I hear about it, I can talk to Grimly.
Okay, I missed it. Does he have the bell tattoo?
Yes, he does.
He does have a bell.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's part of Grimly's gang.
Mhm.
Does
So he's
he
like,
does he show any recognition of the party members that would have dealt with Grimly?
not really.
Okay.
So you guys haven't specifically met him, and he hasn't specifically met you, but he is a part of Grimly's gang. So, thing is, and he kind of looks around. We got this fighting ring. You two look like you could be some good contenders. Winner gets 10 gold. You in? It's in an hour.
He's specifically asking you, Neon and Firedale.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm still looking at Aurora back and forth with my head tilted.
I definitely don't look strong.
He like kind of grabs both of your muscles, like,
Mhm.
yeah, you guys would do nicely.
I'll grab his muscle back.
I'm kind of.
Yeah. Feel it, baby. And he kind of makes a muscle. It's the scrawny thing. He's not strong at all.
Mhm.
Meow.
Now we can say meteors
Well?
stop meowing.
What do you say?
I mean, if either of you are interested, it sounds like a good way to spend some time.
Yeah.
I am not so certain, but Hmm.
Don't worry. There's rules. No killing allowed. Nothing like that. So you don't have to worry about dying.
So it's basically a sparring match.
Yeah.
A test of strength. See if you're the strongest.
Perhaps we can consider it.
All right. I'll sign you up.
I consider not.
We'll
Yeah,
consider.
yeah,
We'll
consider.
sign you.
All right. I'm putting you down for an hour from now at noon. All right. Here's the information. Just be here on time. All right.
How's Grimly doing, by the way?
Oh, Grimly.
I just kind of like slowly take the paper from him, and I'm just like,
Yeah, we had a really nice outing last time we were in town.
Aurora.
You're the girl. Oh, I didn't even realize. You're Grimly's girl.
I'm Saplin. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Oh, he'll be so excited to see you all then.
Oh, he's gonna be there?
Oh yeah. He's the ref.
Would be nice to say hello to him.
It would be. If you wouldn't mind, if you're going to see him before we get there, could you let him know that we're back in town?
Yeah,
And I'm going to be dropping by?
Of course I can.
Didn't I ask the last game if we should go say hi to Grimly?
Yep.
So we're gonna see him.
This way we're going to show up and he's going to have nice seats ready for us and it'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe front row seats? For his VIP girl?
I just kind of like slowly turn my head toward all of you, and I just shake it slowly from side to side.
But you don't want to see Grimly again? He's awesome.
He is, but I'm not prepared to deal with his infatuation with a certain someone.
Oh, don't worry. Things are completely clear between us. He knows what to expect and what not to. It's okay. We talked about it.
Yeah, if you
I shall
recall,
trust you.
They did go on a date.
Yep, to the bar.
Saflin
With San.
and San, I think. Yeah. As a chaperone, and he was a perfect gentleman.
Yes.
I will put my faith in you.
Nobody was led on. Like, intentions were made clear.
Yep.
I just kind of like my lawful good is just like, I would hope so.
I mean, Saflin had a chaperone. Sloan was there.
Don't
I'll
worry,
just
I'm
giggle.
not out of character. Don't worry, Saplin is not taking advantage of Grimly in a malicious way. It's more of he's a nice guy. I don't mind entertaining some of his attention in a harmless way, and he knows that it's not going anywhere else.
Well,
For now, at least. Possibly.
I am very pleased to hear that. One should not mess with the intimate arts in such a manner. It's uncouth.
Yes.
Alright,
I'll
so-
turn to Sappy and say, "You got intimate?"
No, we did not.
and
He was a perfect gentleman.
Like reach over, slowly pet Curio's head, and like, no, little one.
And the goblin who's talking to you has walked away at this point.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course, he had no
Right.
interest in this conversation.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course
on
he
the
did.
info that he gave you, it actually has his name, Rigby.
Okay.
Okay.
I will purr and rub into Aurora's hand.
Such a cat girl, but not a girl.
As I see Curio doing that, I'm just like, I'm glad you're all right, friend. Glad you're all right.
Door.
I am fluffy and I am adorable.
Pet me. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, I have an
so-
emote for that.
So you guys continue down the road towards the library, and Ifrash is like, "So you have a special someone?" To Saflin. Tell me more.
Well, he was a sweet guy, but I'm not necessarily looking for that right now, and he was very understanding about that.
Oh, so you friend zoned him?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to focus on something like romance seriously right now when your mother has forgotten you exist.
What?
So I have other priorities at the moment.
I think you guys did tell her that already. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, about the
that's
curse.
true, dear. That's true.
What's the point in pursuing a romance if I can't take them home to meet my mother and
Aw. And she gives you a hug.
And honestly, I think Sappy has 2 admirers.
2? Who's the other?
And I'll look at her and just giggle.
not like that. Luther's just a good friend, okay?
We met an interesting. Was it Bugbear?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the bugbear. Luther the
Bugbear
bugbear.
friend.
I had
down
no
the
clue who you guys were
bridge.
talking about, by the way.
Yeah, Curio's said, "Oh, the guy on the bridge."
Saplin has a list.
Yeah, he was quite enamored with her.
Oh no, he just needed an excuse to not harass those poor people on the bridge. It's fine.
He could
that
not
sounds
stop gushing
interesting.
about your performance. And how
I mean-
beautiful it was.
I mean, I do practice a lot, so
He
it's
was
it's always
kind of
good to
charmed
know.
when he was doing that.
At this
Yeah.
point, my expression has I've kind of like my expression has become like a smile, and I'm just kind of chuckling at hearing all of this and
All
being
girl talk.
Yep.
just being like, you're quite the popular little one, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have now arrived at the library, and as you guys are walking in, Ifrash is like, "All right, well, I have some other things to do, so I'll see you guys later."
Are you gonna be at trying to think of his
I'll
name?
leave a paw.
At Ingles when we drop or pick up the armor, possibly?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
most
so-
likely. Most likely, yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you then.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good rest of your day.
All right, so you guys enter the library. You guys have an hour before Aurora's match.
Yep.
So remember to leave at a decent time.
And
there on
remind
time.
me when we're about to walk into that because I have an action queued up for that.
Okay.
So, but for now, researching the places that we're going to be going. So researching animals that we might encounter on the way to this party or to Donnelly, of known activity in the area, if there's any like particular trade routes that pass through, to kind of gauge the potential of things like bandits in certain areas.
Right, so you find a bunch of like maps and things, like a beast tracker map type of thing. That would show you the different kinds of animals. A trading routes map that'll show you good spots to go to for refreshing your supplies, or like there's a lake over here type of thing that you can get water. And you're like marking this down on your guys' map.
Yep. And then Saflin, also just kind of tired of being responsible for a minute and doing all of that research, is also going to look for what flowers are in that area. Are there cool plants that I should look for?
Of course. Well,
Right,
Another
also,
one for the horns.
I would also say while you're looking for that, maybe looking for ones that would be good for medicinal use for me.
I mean, you can do that. I'm just
Well-
looking for pretty ones.
I was going to ask if there is something that I could check out to look through and scribble down that would be helpful for me for medical stuff that's not exactly potion making. Because I've got the potion making book with me.
That is a terrible roll.
That is. I'm sorry. You're trying to find what again?
Some
I
sort
was
of.
mainly. Oh no.
Go ahead.
Lilia.
Lilia is who I was asking.
I was asking if there could be some sort of a book that I could just look through and scribble down stuff that might be helpful with the medicine checks and learning.
Oh, yeah, there
So
would
a
be
book on
medicinal book
herbalism.
in here.
Well, I have an herbalism book, or I have an antidote making book, but I also have a potion making book on me right now that I rented out. So I'm thinking something else.
Yeah, you could find something like that.
Actually,
Ooh,
From
recipe
what-
book, yeah.
from what Saflin said, maybe actually looking for a book about flowers in the area and what to find and where.
Yeah,
So-
so you guys can get a local flowers book. Libraries have pretty much anything you could want.
Fire's going
And-
to become a cook.
Should
Not
I
with that roll, I'm not. I didn't find anything.
roll medicine for that?
I'm not even going to have you guys roll.
Okay, good.
For this.
Okay.
You find what you're looking for.
I'm trying to
So I'll
purge
do
my
some
digital dice.
Scribbling in my book.
So yeah, you find a nice recipe book and you kind of jot down some of the better recipes for your personal use.
And ingredients and what flowers look like and description, and
Yep.
try to do a little scribbling to show what it looks like in the book and
Right.
jot it all down in my journal.
Flora and fauna of the location.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then I also got trade routes marked on the map.
And the flora and fauna includes like edible herbs and things like that to spice up your meals.
How to tell a poisonous berry from a non-poisonous berry.
Right. Exactly.
I actually have
That's
a berry
easy.
guide.
You eat one, and if you wake up in the morning, it wasn't poisonous.
Yeah, I'd rather not test that.
So,
Plus, there
you
are
guys
some
get a bunch
berries
of,
who are.
basic survival information and stuff for your maps and everything.
So all good there.
All right. So at this point, if you guys want to make it to the fight on time, you would have to leave about now.
Okay, so I'll fold up my book, put it back on the shelf, and pack up, get ready to go, and look at everybody.
All right. Town's like, all right, buddy, you ready for this fight? You're gonna do great.
As
He
ready
kinda
as
slaps
I'll
your
ever
butt.
be.
Sorry.
Well, I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Oh, come on, don't be like that. You'll do great.
All right. I trust
As we
you.
I mean, unless
walk
Curiel wants to do
in,
it for you.
I
No,
think they're
no.
both doing it, aren't they?
I was gonna
only Aurora
I
was
hold my
scheduled.
hand up real quick. No, this is not his burden to bear.
So only Aurora was scheduled.
Yes.
as
Because he was the
we
only one that gave a
Yeah.
sort of positive response.
right as we enter the venue, I am going to go ahead and trigger Mantle of Inspiration,
Okay.
which
So you guys make your way to the goblins' end of town, into the like abandoned part of town that like had been plagued by a fire before.
Where they had set up camp.
Uh-huh. Yep, this is the goblins' home turf. Their gang hideout, if you will. And you make your way to one of the buildings that like on the outside just looks horrible. And you walk up to it and open the door. Like you kind of kick the door at first, like testing, like, is this even safe to open? And it seems sturdy enough. And then you walk inside, and there's like arrows on the ground. And you follow the arrows, and they lead you to a door.
Walk this way.
Do you open the door?
Yes.
All right. So you reach out for the door, grab the handle, and slowly open it, peeking in. And there's a staircase there leading down into the basement.
And I
Question.
Make my way down.
Question. Would it be
Okay.
cheaty to put a shield of faith on him before he goes
I'm
in?
already cheating by triggering Mantle of Inspiration to give him temporary HP. That's why I'm doing it.
It's like, would it be cheaty? Yes. Can you still do it? That's up to us.
And does Aurora want you to do it?
Right.
Would you like another 2 to your AC?
No. I think this should be fair.
Okay.
I could use the mantle to give it to you and your opponent, the HP.
So
But
the fight lasts a little longer.
yeah, just to extend the fight a bit. I can do 3
I kinda,
creatures,
I,
so
I kind of chuckled. No, it is fine.
okay.
I
I won't do it then.
appreciate your
No.
kindness, though.
He is a fair man, and I will
Yes.
reach up and pat him on the head.
So, is Aurora getting the extra HP or no?
He is not. He has
Okay.
rejected it.
Okay.
Or
So you've
Zaffy.
opened up this door, and there's a staircase.
Yes.
Do you guys go down it?
Yep.
It looks kind of dark down there.
Well, I guess pull out a torch and go down.
Okay.
Doesn't Aurora have something that glows?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that a
He
temporary
does.
thing that we
All of
set
you
up?
He
except
does.
Aurora can see just fine down the stairs.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
his sword will light
Great.
up if he draws it.
Yes. That's
Although
true.
that might look intimidating coming down with a sword, so I think somebody leading with a torch might be
I was
better.
gonna say that's kind of the reason I didn't do it.
So I'll pull up my torch and I guess I'll start down the stairs.
I'm kind of like sitting there thinking I could, but then I'd be
I'll
walking down the
cantrip
stairs.
dancing lights and have the 4 globes of light surround us.
That would work too.
All right. So you guys walk
Yep.
down the stairs.
I'm
And
imagining like
there's
a
more
WWE
arrows.
entrance. You know, he's coming into the ring with these sparkling lights all around him.
Yeah.
There's more arrows pointing you around a corner, around another corner, and at the end of the hall, you start seeing some like flashing lights. And you walk down, and you enter this room that is full of people. There is dozens of people around a makeshift ring, all like, yeah, give him another one, ah! And there's like betting going on. I got 10 on the big guy.
I think Son would
20
be
on
getting
the
right
little
into the
one.
bedding.
Son's probably running around trying to pick pockets.
She
True.
definitely would be.
So we can do a roll for her for that.
I don't have her
But-
open.
So you guys start making your way in, and there is actually a goblin at the door, and
Hey,
he
Buff-Buff.
stops you, like, how can I help you? And he kind of like cracks his knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Just be like, I'm here for the activities.
Says who?
Are we still with him at this point?
Yeah,
No.
you guys were all
Mhm.
stopped at the door so far.
Yes.
Be like, hi. He's actually signed up to fight, and I'm a friend of Grimley's, and we were coming to pay him a visit.
And cheer on our
you're the
friends.
one. All right, follow me. And he leads you down to the opposite side of the ring. And
I was gonna say, did you notice that? I very quietly. I'm here for the activities.
yep, I did.
Yep.
Amazing.
Here I'll roll real quick. Huh. The crowd doesn't notice anything Son's doing. They don't notice a thing.
Oh, is
She's
that
just
for her
pickpocketing
pickpocketing?
away. Yeah,
That's
The-
stealth.
the 16 stealth.
I actually pulled up our
7
sheet
sleight of
just
hand.
now.
I have it
Yeah, I
as
did
well.
too, but I was just rolling in roll 20.
Mm.
I like Son,
We can
or I
pick
like
either of those rolls
Steffi's
and she
roll
still
for her
does
better.
good. With a nat 1, the crowd's just too
They
enamored
are
with.
too busy
the fight.
watching.
So you'll have to let us know what she makes in pickpocketing, I guess, at the end.
Yep.
She'll just make her round stealthy and just picket-pocket everything she can.
Mhm.
Yeah, go with what Fire did because she rolled directly off the sheet.
Yep. Yeah, that works.
Yep.
So yeah, her stealth is a 25 and her sleight of hand's a 17.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think she's good. She's gonna get quite a bit of money.
With the net 1, their money should fall out of their pockets as they jump up and down. Says need a user.
All
Could
right,
their
so,
jewelry also just fall off while they jump up and down?
so the big goblin leads you guys over to the other side of the ring, where Grimly is actually, and there are no seats anywhere here. This is all standing room.
Mhm.
Okay.
But you guys are like ringside at the moment.
In the VIP section.
Mhm. He's like, Safflin! Good to see you. I heard you were coming.
Yes, we were hoping that you'd get the message that we were in town. We figured we'd stop by.
Yeah. Anytime you want to stop by, girl, you're welcome. Is this our fighter?
Yeah, and I'll
Yes.
gesture to Aurora and be like, yeah, he's going to give it a shot.
Perfect. All right. Well, this round seems like it's just about up. And as he says that, there's like a big burly ogre fighting
Wonderful.
a halfling. And
Do we recognize this ogre?
no, this is not the same ogre.
Okay, I was gonna say I see where you're going with this.
And the halfling is actually holding his own. He's like doing a bunch of flips all over the place. He's like super nimble, whereas the ogre is like slow, and he just like can't catch him. And
He's more strength than agility.
and the halfling finally lands a finishing blow to the back of his neck.
Oh.
And the ogre falls down on his knees and falls forward, passing out. And Grimly hops in and is like, I think we have a winner, folks! And he grabs the the halfling's hand and lifts it up, but he lifts it up a little too high and kind of picks him up. He's like, "Oh, my bad."
Off the
Sorry."
ground.
Uh-huh.
Just dangling there.
I could see that happening.
Yep.
He's like, "All right, so pay out the bets, and we'll get ready for the next round, folks. This will be a good one."
Sorry, yawning.
All right, so they pick up the ogre off the ground. He regains consciousness and like gets up and is like, "Oh, I lost. Oh man, that's quite the halfling there." And just kind of stumbles off the stage. And look, everyone's already halfway through a standing ovation for Safi. Or we can always choose to attack until unconscious rather than going for lethal. Yep.
Yeah, it's standing room
So-
only.
Grimly comes off the stage and back over to Aurora. He's like, "Okay, now remember, no killing here. We want a clean fight. We
Yes.
don't need no law getting involved. Safin, this is all actually thanks to you that we got this gig."
Oh, good. I'm glad y'all have found something.
Yeah. After we gave up our other money-making operation, we need some way to make money, and this is what we decided on.
Definitely better than pressuring the marketplace people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it seems
Making
like y'all
way more
probably
money,
have a
too.
lot of fun with it too.
Yeah.
Out of character question.
Mhm.
There is no weapon fighting, correct? In this?
There is actually.
Okay. So weapons
So-
allowed.
So that was actually the next thing I was going to say is,
Okay.
all right, Aurora, this is a no holds barred, all weapons allowed fight. Just don't kill them. That's the only rule.
No holds barred, no rules, except one rule.
Don't kill.
You have now another healer in the building, and I can also help with some recovery of battle wounds after the fact.
I'm here too.
Yeah.
So we're going.
Well, I mentioned you first.
So it's Outback Steakhouse style. No rules, just right.
Yeah.
And if you accidentally do kill him, I've got spare the dying.
All right. All right,
Always
folks. I think it's
something you
about
wanna
time to
hear.
get this fight going. What do you say? The crowd kind of roars. All right, on this side, we have a newbie to the fight arena. We have Aurora.
Just kind of lift my arm up and then put it back down.
All right, and the crowd kind of cheers for you. Like,
Is
Hey,
Safi
look,
keeping the lights
tough.
on him?
what's that?
Is
I
Sapling
was
keeping
asking
the
if Safi
sparkling
was
lights
keeping
on
the
him?
lights on him.
I mean, the dancing lights are wherever I direct them to be. So unless Nihon
Right.
tells me to move them, I will have them follow him.
So
They
Grimly,
will go away after a bit.
Grimly sees that. It's like,
They'll go away.
none of those lights, please.
Yeah, it's only a minute, so it probably is fading about now anyway.
Yeah, probably.
It was just to make the journey here.
There is something similar to the dancing lights, like above everyone's head. That's the like flashing lights you saw.
Right, so they can see.
So yeah, you guys can see well enough down here.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have
Right.
withdrawn them as soon as we got into an area that was lit well enough for him to see.
Right. So yeah, they'd be off now by then.
Yep.
Don't want to make them
All right.
sparkle?
And
That's
then on this
that's
corner,
not dancing lights.
I would.
we have
Yeah.
we have a returning champ, Leogle, and into the ring steps this. Let's see. Sorry, give me 1 second. Steps this 6 foot 3, Leonin. And he kind of like rips the shirt off his chest and gives like a roar.
Oh my.
And the crowd starts cheering. Leo, go! Leo, go! Leo, go! Kick his ass! And the bets start flowing in. There's a couple guys on each side of the ring. Like, all right, bets here. You got money on him? All right. You want some money on the new guy? Okay. So if you guys want to bet, you can on the winner.
I will put some money on Aurora just to show some
All right.
some
how much you putting
confidence in
in?
his ability.
What
I'll
what
put
is
5 silver in.
I'll,
All right.
I'll put 5 as well, I guess. I was gonna say if it's a
Current
gold.
pay-
I don't know if I want to do that because I only have 2 gold. But yeah,
I'd
5
You don't
want to
silver.
need
put
to.
5
on
gold on Aurora.
You don't need to.
Current payouts 4-1 on Leogal to win. So if, meaning if Aurora wins, you get 4 times the amount of gold that you're putting in.
Yeah, I'll put
So.
5 silver.
All right. All right. So, Grimly steps into the center, tells you both to approach. He's like, all right, folks, I want a dirty fight. Ready? He looks to you, Aurora.
Just silent nod.
And he looks to Leogal. Ready? Like, ah! All right. Fight! And then he runs back. So, I want you to go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. Give me one moment. Oh my god, my head is so big.
So you roll a 2 on initiative, and he
Of
rolls a
course.
7.
Of course.
So he goes
All right.
first.
Aurora's dex isn't the best.
He gets to go first. All right. So the first thing he's going to do is he is going to use his bonus action to rage.
Okay.
That'll make him easier to hit.
So what? For those of you who don't know what that means, he now gains an advantage on strength checks and saving throws that are not attacks, and melee damage with strength weapons, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage will be halved on him.
Oh, wonderful. That's all I do.
Mm-hmm. And he can't concentrate on spells though. And in order for his rage to stay up, he has to attack or be attacked. If there is a round of combat where neither of those things happen, then his rage will end. And he will be back to normal.
Oh, yeah, it actually requires attacking.
Well, he has to either attack or be attacked.
Yep. And as he rages, he actually starts to transform. And he gets his lion paws turn into these like claws. So he now has like a crab's claws on his hands, both of them. And he is going to roll to hit with both of these. So we will roll to hit.
Just remember, Meteor, one person.
Yep. Claws. is so he rolls a 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so that hits, and he's going to do d6 plus 3, so 9 damage.
Okay.
All right.
This is gonna be over
And
quick.
then-
Is it too late to give a shield of faith?
What's your max health?
28.
28. Okay.
For real, is it
Um,
too late to give shield of faith? It
I
gives
think
2
at this
AC.
point it would be noticed and looked down upon.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
we couldn't.
Okay.
I was gonna say, could we pretend we did it earlier? But no.
All right. All right. So that will end his turn.
Okie doke. So weapons are
Allowed.
Loud.
Yep.
allowed, not only allowed, but they're welcome.
Yep.
All right.
Go all out.
No
All right,
holds
well-
barred fighting.
Moon touch great sword comes out. The shiny.
Perfect.
And
So
I go
that has
out.
an effect, right?
Yep.
So what is the effect?
Unsheathed blade of the sword sheds moonlight, creating bright light at a 15-foot radius and dim light for another 15 feet.
Okay.
You trying to
It's
blind
does
him?
it have
shiny.
disadvantage at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anything that gives advantage.
Okay.
What about the fire on your sword? Setting it ablaze or whatever you do.
That's the thing he has to activate.
Yes. So I can do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll cast that then.
I mean, all abilities are good. The
Yep.
dude is raging.
He just
you're
doesn't.
right.
He doesn't handle magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So what did you cast?
Searing smite.
Searing Smite. All right. Go ahead and roll to hit. Or is it just a straight hit?
That.
Okay. 17 does hit. Roll for
Okay.
damage.
So I get I'll have 2 rolls here. I'll combine together.
All right. 10 slashing damage. Have to 5. And then
The fire damage as well.
why is there 2 there?
I don't know. Uh. Hmm.
Why did it roll 2?
I don't know.
And does he have to roll a save?
At the start of each turn until the spell ends, target must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. So he'll make a con save.
Yeah, on his turn.
Oh, on his turn?
On his turn, yeah.
Okay. So it does 8 damage plus 5 for a total of 13 health.
And he is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And he is on fire?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how Syrian Smite works. He got hit by the
is that
flaming
what
sword
the
and he
con
is on
save
fire.
for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's to end the spell to put out the fire, pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do? Or is that all?
Give me a moment here.
And they can use an actual action, not a bonus action.
Right.
So pretty
Mhm.
much the person could use up their attack to put out the flames doom meteor.
Right.
Right.
But that would mean no attacking.
So I've already. Can I cast a second spell?
Your Searing Smite was a bonus, and you attack.
As a
That's
bonus.
your 2
Okay.
actions. Yeah.
All right. Then I can hold on. I can cast another spell next turn though, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. Then
All right.
yeah, I'm good for now.
It's
Would
also
your
a
s-
ranger spell.
would your Searing Smite still be on your sword after hitting?
It's the next time.
Yeah, the spell ends on a successful save.
Okay, so on a successful save.
Yes.
So he didn't save, so your weapon's still on fire.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it affects his weapon. Pretty much his weapon was on fire. When he hits an enemy with the fire, it's actually transferred to that person.
Okay, so
So
it's
his sword
not.
isn't on fire anymore.
No.
But now
No.
Okay.
line is on fire.
Crab.
Right, and if he had done a successful save, he wouldn't be on fire, so he wouldn't be taking fire damage.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to use
Alright.
that again, you have to activate the. Okay.
So
Yeah, there's no save for the initial thing. It's he hit and he's now on fire. The save stuff doesn't kick in until it's on fire dude's turn.
all right, so he's going to make another attack on you.
Okay, so at the start of his turn is when he would try and make the save.
Does
Right.
a 13 hit?
No.
All right.
My
He's
armor
going
class is
to
18.
do a second attack on you.
He didn't try to put himself out.
Yeah, we
He
haven't-
needs to roll the con save. You're right. 21 for the con save.
That
So-
probably isn't. I think that's enough,
DC
probably.
12. Yep.
Yep.
So he puts himself out. And then this will be the second attack. A 12.
Doesn't
12's
hit.
not going to hit either.
All right.
Your
Bounces
13,
off
your,
his
thir-
armor.
your 13 didn't hit. Your 12's not going to hit.
Right. All right. Then for his bonus action, he is going to, frustrated after having missed one jab with his pincers and another jab with his pincers, he gets frustrated and he lets out a roar. So I need you to roll a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I like my addition to the map.
So how do I do that?
So there should be a box that says saving throws on the
Okay.
left side.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
So
Just
roll
click on the wisdom one.
Yep. 22.
Yeah,
You
I
saved
was
from
gonna
it.
say, yeah, 22 is going to be fine.
Yep. All right. So nothing happens to you. And
All
it
right.
is now your turn once again.
Well, I am gonna make a little bit of a change up here. I'm gonna cast Divine Favor.
Okay. What's that do?
Prayer empowers you with divine radiance until the spell ends. Your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 damage on hit. There's no saving
Yep.
throws or anything.
Perfect.
He just does extra damage.
All right. So
Yep.
roll to hit.
And that is a bonus, so you're good.
I was gonna say
Alright.
23 is probably gonna hit, right?
23 hits.
All
Roll
right.
the damage. And then roll a d4. Slashing 11 down to 5.
Radiance
and
3, so
3
it's
radiant,
8.
So 8 damage. All right. Anything else you can do?
Nope. Not
You
at the moment.
can
So yeah.
What were you going to say, Lily?
I was gonna say he could use the necklace of prayer beads at some point if he wants to.
True.
So
I'll
yeah,
give it.
after
Right.
Leogal lets out his roar, Aurora just kind of chuckles like, cute.
That's
And then he brandishes his sword, like raises it up to the sky, and it like glows even brighter for a minute. And then he gives a mighty slash into him to dealing the 8 damage total. And with that, it is now his turn. He is going to roll to hit you again. A 9.
Definitely don't hit.
No.
And a second one. $22.
That one hits.
That one pops. Yeah.
All right. So that'd be D6 plus 3.
Who added the arrow
Or
upwards?
8
Okay.
total damage.
All right.
All right. And see.
Considering it was a red arrow, that must be Firebutt.
That is actually going to end his turn. He doesn't have anything else he can do this one as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and actually gonna go ahead. I could use a spell, right, and then attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Cure Wounds on myself.
So
Oh, I can't do that, can I?
You can cast one of your
Cure
healing
Wounds is
spells from your
probably
prayer
an
beads as a
action,
bonus.
That's gonna
Uh,
that'll probably be an action.
Hold on.
I think so.
Is Cure
Oh yeah,
Wounds
it is
one of the ones
no,
off
it's an
the
action.
beat?
No, it's an action. Both of them are actions.
Well,
Saflin
Any-
did
using the
say
beads, it's
You
a
do have
bonus
feet,
action.
so, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why I was asking.
So if
Right.
you have a healing spell on the beads, you can use that one as a bonus action.
I do.
Instead of a full action.
It's on the beads. Yeah.
Okay, so Cure Wounds, you would roll 2d8.
he has Cure Wounds as an actual thing, though, as well.
But
Yeah.
that will keep him from attacking because it is a
Right.
standard action.
Right.
If he uses the thing on the necklace, it's just a bonus action for the same spell. It's actually a higher level spell.
And the beads do recharge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't Cure Wounds 1d8, not 2?
At first level. but
Yeah.
the
This is
necklace specifically
this is
says
second level.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and that adds a
2d8.
d8.
Not
Mhm.
plus 2?
It's 2d8 plus 2.
Or is the plus 2 because of your
Let's
modifiers?
see what it says.
Right.
On his
think it
actual
says-
Whatever
sheet.
it says for the spell on the beads.
Okay.
Right. I was gonna say because it says it's
For your actual spell, though.
Yeah, normally it'd be
Right.
1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier,
Mhm.
right.
but I'm assuming the beads or the bead doesn't specifically list that it gives any spell modifier to it.
What is your health at?
11.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1d8.
Okay.
I'm in your
So, yeah.
sheet looking.
Yeah. The lower
Yeah,
level
just look
one's
at it.
1d8.
Look at it on the inventory on the beads. Yes.
Okay.
There's actually a clicky thing
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
there.
you can cast it straight from that.
Okay. So I can just click on that then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you go into the the prayer beads and click on the Cure Wounds, there's a little clicky dice thing.
Okay.
10.
So 10 healing.
Okay, so yeah, it added 2, so there you go.
Okay. And then I can still attack, right?
Because
Okay.
that was a bonus action.
I will do so. I'm gonna attack here.
All right, roll to hit. 11 does not hit.
Okay.
So the way you use the prayer beads is
Great.
you break it, don't you?
No.
No?
No, you took off a charge.
Okay.
Yeah, you just touch it or think about it. You cast, but the magic ability from it comes from the prayer beads.
And it
Right.
only recharges once per dawn. So you
So-
can't use that particular bead again until dawn the next day.
Right.
Okay. So you reach up to your necklace and you grasp hold of one, and it kind of like radiates into your body visibly. So, and then you take a swing at him, and he dodges out of the way, and you miss him. And so he just saw you heal yourself, and he's like, "Ah, that makes me mad." And so he is going to do a reckless attack this time.
Wonderful.
So what that means is
Oh, I totally know. Yep.
his first attack, he can get advantage on his attack roll. But attack rolls against him will have advantage till the next turn.
Yep. So you may as an aside, if you wonder why I'm like saying like, yep, I know what that is, because previous game I played very closely with Barbarian, and so like I know all these things.
50.
All right, so he is going to roll to attack with advantage. And he gets a 22
Yep.
to hit. So then he's doing 1d6 plus 3 for a total of 6 points.
You could add the +3 in the roll that you type, Meteor.
The d6, I'm just going to the dice on the side and hitting the d6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other ones I'm typing manually, but that one I'm just like, screw it.
Okay.
So
I'd just try
now
to be helpful.
he's going to make his second attack on you. And a 6 does not hit.
Thank goodness.
All right, and then that ends his turn.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Searing Smite again on my sword,
Okay.
Sword
and I'm gonna attack again.
And you get
blazes and
advantage on
fire
this one.
again.
What?
So 12 doesn't hit, but you get
Nope.
advantage, so roll again.
Oh,
So 12
7
did
up.
not.
at
Okay.
least your sword is still on fire.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's the end of my turn.
Well, and
All right.
also, since dude didn't do damage and you didn't do damage, his rage will drop when his
He
turn
did
comes
damage.
around.
He attacked.
Oh,
He did get one hit on him.
okay. Yeah, it has to actually land.
Yep, he did.
Okay.
He got one hit on him.
Okay.
Yep.
So if he misses with both of his this time, then his rage would end. All right, so he's going to roll to hit. A 6 misses. He's going to roll for his second attack. And a 10 misses. So his rage does drop.
Can I be mean? Will
What?
people hate me?
Does it not drop yet?
It's at the beginning of his turn if the conditions are met in the previous.
It's not that. The
No.
rage continues as long as he attacks. It's if he doesn't attack, but something else hurts him, it'll still continue.
Oh, so it doesn't have to hit?
He
I thought
doesn't
it had
have
to
to hit.
hit.
He just has to
Okay.
attack.
Yeah, I think
If he
Firegal's
chooses not
right.
to attack, Aurora would have to hit him and actually deal damage, or it would end. Him just attacking
right.
will
I'm
continue
reading it. It says if you haven't attacked a hostile creature,
Yep.
it doesn't say it has to
Him
hit.
just attacking will continue.
Okay, so just taking the attack action is enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it does not drop.
But if he doesn't do that and doesn't take damage, then it'll end because he no
Okay.
longer has anything to be angry over.
All right.
Sorry.
So it is now your turn again, Aurora.
Okay.
You missed with both of his swipes. So you guys are just like dodging each other.
I was gonna
left and right
say
here.
I can take an attack, right?
Yeah.
And the crowd is going wild
You
over
have
this.
full turn.
Yep.
A 20 does hit.
All right, let's go. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting because here's how we're gonna do this. So hold on to your butts. For that,
Ooh.
this should stack.
All right. 12 have to 6. And then, so he gets the Divine Favor and Searing Smite.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Because that divine favor stays the entire fight until the spell wears
So
off.
6,
And
10,
the fire.
11 total damage on him. And he is still standing.
And he's now on fire again?
Yep.
And he
Now he's
is
on
Yep.
fire.
But he is looking like he's about to drop.
Do you have anything you want to do as your bonus action there, Neon?
Yep. I am actually gonna. Let me see here.
Because all that stuff was spells that were already active.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Can I just kind of prep myself to block? Wait, do I have that?
No,
No,
that
I
would
don't
be
have
an
that.
action.
That's an action.
Yep,
Yeah.
dodge is an action.
Okay.
Unless you're me.
No, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm good for now.
Okay. All right. Then
I'm
he is
personally
going
surprised
to-
that Aurora hasn't
and that
been
was
hit
like
and said another.
a beautiful attack too. Because your sword was like, since it had both of those things, it was kind of like jolting almost with electricity. It was on fire and it was like glowing even more than it usually does. And like the combination of the two was just like giving crackles off of your blade as it sliced into him. And so,
He's going to feel that scar tomorrow.
oh yeah. He gets a natural 19,
Aurora will too.
24. So this one's going to hit.
Yep.
So d6 plus 3 for 8 damage.
Okay.
And he still gets his second attack. A 22 for
Damn it.
another d6 plus 3 for 9 damage.
Yep, that drops me.
So as after you hit him with his attack, you can just see the fury in his eyes as he takes the hit, and then he uses one claw and grabs the hand that you're holding the sword with, and then crushes that one in his claw, and then he uses the other claw to grab at your neck and just lift you up and then drop you onto the ground unconscious. But you are still alive. You are not on death saving throws.
I'm almost at the point where I feel like with these fights, I should be on death saving throws because it would make this less painful.
You are officially on 1 health now. Okay?
Okay.
So Grimly comes out and is like, "We have a winner! That was an amazing fight, folks, don't you think?" And the crowd is chanting, "Leo go, Leo go, Leo go." And the champion remains champion. By the way, he had 3 health.
Yeah, I figured it
So
had to be
you
close.
were that close to dropping him.
No, that's pretty. As an aside, pretty common for me just to be that close and then have something happen.
Mhm.
I'm still surprised he could attack so much.
That was that specific transformation. So he had 3 different things he could transform into. One transforms his mouth, one transforms his claw, one transforms his tail, and the claws specifically get 2 attacks. The other 2 both have 1, but they have other perks with them.
Yeah, so the
that's his
claws
specific type of
specifically
rage.
gave him multi-attack.
Yep. So,
All right, is there an intermission or anything after this, or?
yeah, like for us or for like in game.
For in-game, I'm wondering if there's a short rest period that I could do Song of Rest, because
Yeah.
it's any creatures that hear me. It doesn't have to be party.
Mm-hmm.
So literally the entire place, anyone who fought, if they take the short rest to restore a hit die, gets a bonus.
All right. So yeah, he helps Aurora up on his feet and helps him off the stage. He's like, "That was a real good fight, man. Anytime you want to come back, you are welcome." That's the
Poor
closest
Aurora.
anyone's got to downing him yet.
Poor
All
Minnie
right,
Pouch.
folks, we're gonna take a brief intermission while we set up for the next fight. With that, I'm also going to take a brief intermission to go to the restroom.
Ta-da. Lily's doing the healing.
Well, I did Song of Rest, which just lets them gain an extra 1d6 hit points if they're using a hit die to recover during the short rest.
Yeah.
Lilia, I think, is directly healing Nihon. Or Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just enhancing the natural recovery.
Cropta. What? You lost me, Anna Rose. Also, hi.
Hello.
I feel like there's a term there that I've not been exposed to.
Feel like you probably don't want to know.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kinka.
Okay.
It's a good try, Aurora.
Hmm.
2 attacks hurts.
Certainly
Yeah, the
does.
2
Oh,
attacks.
wait. Meteor.
What?
We need to retcon.
Why?
He was on fire. He needed to roll to not be on fire or take
That's
damage.
true.
Oh, that's true. He might have taken 3 fire damage.
That's
Yep.
true. All right,
So-
let's.
Okay.
He needs 13, right?
Yeah.
1d20
Roll your 14.
plus his Constitution, right?
Roll
Yep.
the
Yeah,
nat
that's
20
the
on the
rough
fire
part
save.
is plus con.
12.
Oh! So he takes 1d6 damage.
All right.
So roll the d6.
Moment of truth.
50-50.
4
Yep.
damage.
Oh my
All right.
goodness. You should.
Retcon activated.
Rewind it. How do you want to do it? Well, I guess he dies from the fire damage.
Yep.
He does die
He
from the
was
fire
about
damage.
to
He
take
doesn't
him out.
die. Collapses. I'm like,
So,
I'm pretty brutally just like hurt, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
so you're
Gritting.
looking like you're on your last legs. You just swung this powerful attack, your last ditch effort. He grabs your left arm with one claw, grabs your neck with the other, and he's just on fire.
I'm
He
kind
goes
of
to try and lift you up,
right.
and then his grip just loosens.
It does, and I'm
And
kind of
he
like
falls
as
backwards.
as he's doing that, I'm like, not today.
Yeah, not today. And you like push him, and he just falls backwards onto the
Yep.
ground, passed out.
Good catch. I completely forgot about that Constitution thing. I was
Yep.
just like,
He was still on fire because you did hit him.
yep.
Are you going to take the time to extinguish him now that he's unconscious?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm like immediately going to try and extinguish him. Like,
And so
that's the right
Gridley
thing to do.
comes out and was like, "Oh, what an upset, folks! The newbie won! We have a new champion!" And he grabs your arm and lifts it into the air.
And I let
As
out
the
I let
crowd
out
shouts-
something. I let out something about unpleasant cry, just because it's like, ow.
and the crowd starts shouting, "Aura! Aura! Aura!" And they're saying the wrong name.
Close
Right.
enough.
Correct.
Right. I figured they're gonna do that.
And Callan's like, "No, Aurora! Aurora! So, Aurora! Aurora! Aurora!"
I'm just
And
kind
Or
of
is easier.
taking
a lot of them,
taking it in for the moment. Just
and it's mostly the ones who actually bet on you. The rest of them was like, "Oh, I lost so much money on that fight."
We
And
made
you
so much
guys
money
each
on that
get
fight.
paid out 4 times what you bet.
I am
Okay.
happy with this.
y'all bet everything on me, right? We're millionaires now.
I put in 5 silver. I get 2 gold back. I'm pretty happy with that.
I had faith in Aurora. I bet 5 gold.
Yeah, so you
bet
get 20
5
gold.
gold.
I did. I even put it in chat.
Yep, he gets 20 gold back.
Yep.
So you are
I did
plus
not want there
15.
to be any I didn't hear it. It's there.
Yeah,
Good
Lilia and I
job.
both put in 5 silver, so we each get 2 gold.
Well done. Well done, folks.
Cannot believe that fire got him.
Yeah, we totally missed it.
I'm
yeah,
glad I
I'll-
remembered.
I was so
and then
very.
I'll still roll the Song of Rest.
All
I'll
right.
still do
you.
that.
So
That still happens.
while this
Okay.
whole fight was going on,
And Aurora is still hurt, so the healing
Right.
from Lilia still helps too.
So that's still gonna
Mhm.
it's gonna be the 20.
San
20.
was picking everyone's pockets.
Very well, and nobody noticed.
And so we are going to roll a d20 plus 3, and that'll be how much gold she steals. All right? 9 gold.
Really? Oh, well, actually, that's still a considerable amount.
Yeah, that's
Still pretty
not
good.
bad. That's not bad. It could have been
Okay,
better.
so I'll write that down so that Pika can add it next week.
I can add it to her sheet.
Okay.
And you roll a d6 there, Aurora, just in case we get into a fight.
For bonus healing.
Okay. Yeah, let me do that.
That's what Song of Rest does. It lets you have another d6 of healing.
Yeah, so it'd just be 2 d6s then, or just 1 d6.
Just one. Lilia
It's
still healed
it's
you
your
earlier.
Okay.
your hit die, because it's technically a short rest happening. Plus a
Okay.
d6 for Song of Rest, and then the
Right.
12 from Lilia.
Right. So, shoot, I can't remember what my hit die is.
You have a d8, I believe, don't you?
If you press the
Wait.
short rest button,
Oh
because
yeah.
that's effectively what's happening,
Yep. Oh, it's a 1d10 actually.
and then you add a 1d6.
All right. Well, that's 6. That's still good.
Yeah.
26. That'll do. Thank you.
Your prep with the fire saved it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah,
did.
Thank you for saving my money pouch.
You're quite welcome, friend.
Okay, now I get why
Alright.
people weren't answering me. I was muted. Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
You
Hi.
muted.
Yep. Hi.
Okay, so do you need any more health? Because I can also do a cure or a healing word and give some HP, quote unquote, back to the other guy.
I was gonna say, I've just got 2 is all I need. If you want to heal everyone, that's fine. But I've only got 2 hit points. I'm short.
So I'll just be like, walking up to the circle and be like, I can spread some healing around. So here you go.
Poor
Thank you.
line.
Yeah, and everyone else in the room that heard me doing the Song of Rest, because I'm effectively playing a short tune during a short rest,
Arcane.
would also get the 1d6.
You're
So-
effectively jigglypuffing the room, but with healing instead of sleep.
Yes.
All right, so
Yep.
Arcane stepped away. So I'm going to recap. So Arcane, Aurora lost, and then we realized we forgot to
Do
check
the fire.
the fire damage.
Yep. To see if he
See
clears
if
it.
He put himself out.
He almost put himself out, but didn't.
So he failed to put himself out.
So we had
and
to
then took
rewind.
just enough fire damage to KO him.
Yep. So
before
it
he could
changed
take
what our
Aurora out.
outcome was because we forgot to do things. So we rewinded
Mhm.
back, and yeah.
So we had to do a re-roll after we realized that.
Mhm.
So
It was a
Aurora
close
did
battle.
win
If-
the fight.
It was a close battle. The fact that 3 damage was the difference between winning and losing.
And he is victorious.
Also, the beast path of the berserker is nice.
Yeah, it is. You looking at it right now?
Yeah, I saw the claws.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I added my total for the winnings.
Okay.
Yep, added mine too.
And I can put
Put Sans 9 gold from her pickpocketing.
And Aurora, don't forget to add 10 gold for your winnings.
Yes,
Yeah, yes.
because you won and won 10 gold.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep, you get your 10 gold. Yes. So that is the character Leogold. If you guys want to check him out, he was a level 3 barbarian. Firedale was concerned it was a level 5 because of the 2 attacks.
Yeah, I hadn't seen much since I didn't make the barbarians, so I don't know anything about the paths. But
Right.
yeah, going the claw route, you get 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he had done any of the other ones, well, the bite could have been nice because he actually regains health from it.
I think you picked the one that was probably the most likely to take Aurora out.
Probably.
Because
Yeah.
he has a really high AC,
Yep.
so the more attacks you get, the more chance you actually get to do damage.
Mm-hmm. And
You
in
can-
an all-out fight, this guy probably would have just gone all out, gone for the
Meteor,
most
you
attack he
can
did.
you can short rest him as well because he also would have been included in that
Yeah.
in the Song of Rest.
So I'm putting up the
So he would get
stats
the
for
healing
the other
too.
guy to show stream.
So you can heal him up a little bit.
This was who
How much?
Nihon
It's
fought
an
against.
additional 1d6 on top of their normal hit die for a short rest recovery.
So Nihon,
I just did.
And that's
Yes.
going
your
hidden.
character did well,
Yes.
and you might have hated your luck, but it sounds like it paid off in the end.
It did. Though to be fair, I think that was less luck
13.
and more just my constant preparation
What's the
strategy.
1d6.
Tactics is a thing.
Right.
So 15 total.
And you
Oh,
had a
you got
ton of
that.
different stuff you could have done there, but setting them on fire is the one that won it for you.
Hey,
I figured
Meteor.
it'd be the one that would do it.
Don't forget that I did a healing word as well to try and heal.
On
That
Leogold?
that was for Aurora.
Healing word is ranged, isn't it?
You pick a
Oh, it's
person,
only
though,
one
with a
person.
target.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah,
It's
Song
not
of
an
Rest
area of
was
effect.
was any friendly creatures that could hear me when I cast it, which I would have waited till he was conscious again to cast it.
Okay,
So
never mind.
congratulations, Aurora, on your big win.
Thank you.
You
I
did
would
well.
I would like to sleep forever now.
You have proven that your God has given you proper faith.
Yes.
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 All right. So I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
It is 9:30. This is when we usually stop. Do you guys want to go longer, or do you want to end it here?
I'm fine either way. I mean, this is a good point to do it since we've
Yeah,
just
Sean is
finished the
usually the
thing.
one that has to get off right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to stop right now just because I need to eat dinner still.
Right. That'd be okay. We can stop
And
for
we've done stuff.
stuff.
Yes.
All
And
right.
I'm a richer kitty.
So we will go ahead and end it there then, with Aurora's impressive win by himself.
Can I do one thing before we say we're done for the night?
What's that?
Read my book before I go to bed.
We are not going to bed.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we just
Scratch
did a
that.
short rest. We're not doing rest for the night.
Scratch that then.
You are still in a fighting ring,
Okay.
and that is where we're ending.
I thought we were saying we were going to go back to the tavern type of thing and go to bed.
No, we're just
type of-
pausing the session here.
Okay.
Yes.
And Kyria will make sure and give Aurora a good pat on the head.
Can you reach his head? He's supposed to be
Yes.
taller than you.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably sitting on the ground right now.
Okay.
It's also
Recovering.
true. It's probably humped over a little bit, about to collapse.
All right.
Well, I mean,
So-
he's been healed up a bit, so
Yeah.
at least that's good.
Shouldn't he be healed up completely? Because I did cure wounds
He's
and
just-
healing word.
He's just physically exhausted. He's not damaged.
Yeah.
Okay, so he needs to recover, not heal.
Correct. All right. So, we will end it off by an ogre coming up to Aurora, and it is now the one from earlier. And he says, Aurora, mighty fine fight. I knew you had it in you. You
Thank-
made me 25 silver tonight. Or gold tonight. What a win.
I was about to
I'm
say.
like,
Kyria,
I'm still a little sore, but I reach out and I shake his hand, and I'm like, friend, I'm glad you had faith in me.
Of course, after our arm wrestle match, I had no doubt.
It's like I'm like,
Tell you what,
yes.
let me buy you a drink tonight.
I kind of think about it for a moment, and I say, fair offer. I will take you up on that.
Right. We can meet at the Laughing Horse.
I guess that's the name of the tavern.
Yes.
Okay.
That
Insert
is the
random
tavern
tavern here.
that you guys were at last night. That you had your amazing performance at. And almost killed a
Yes.
fish man.
And we got free food the entire night.
Yep.
So I'll buy your drinks the whole night.
Oh, wow, that escalated quickly from one drink to the whole night of drinks.
I'm kind of
Well,
like,
maybe not the whole night, but I'll get you a couple drinks. Don't worry about it.
I was about to say, friend, don't make yourself
I'm-
poor at my expense.
I'm just caught up in
The
the
excitement.
fact that you just got me 25 gold. I'm feeling generous.
I appreciate your generosity. It is very kind.
Yes, yes. We shall be good friends.
Yay! Making more friends.
Yay, Aurora's friend cat go up by one this time.
Yes, it can.
Did he ever give you his name?
Yeah, we discussed it.
Okay.
I don't remember what
do
it
you
is.
remember it?
Not entirely. No,
He did say
but
my name is blank at the end of the
Right.
wrestling match. I just
I
don't
think it was
remember what it
Grog
is.
or something like that.
Yeah, it was Grog.
Yep.
It was.
Haha,
So
my memory
you
is
can
still
write
good.
that down so you can remember his name.
Okay,
I had it written down. It was in my notes.
thank you. I remembered it, but I was like, I just want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah, so new people met today. We have Grog and we have Rigby.
Yes.
And Random Tiger.
And then we have
Oh,
Leah,
and Lionel. Because of, well,
Leogal. There we go.
Leogal. Yes.
I was trying to remember how to pronounce it.
Although we technically didn't meet him. Nihon
No,
did.
we didn't
No,
get to
I
meet
did.
Leogal. Just Aurora did. So Aurora's friend count is now up to 2.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
are they going to be friends, or is he still going to be salty that he lost?
So Leogal actually comes up and congratulates you as well.
Okay,
Nice.
so no
Congratulations.
salt.
Fine fight.
Congratulate him
It's been
back.
so long since I've lost.
You friend have put up an incredible fight. I can see why you've been champion for so long.
Oh yes.
It's very impressive, incredibly difficult to combat against.
I must have a rematch at some point.
Perhaps we should. Perhaps not right now, of course, but
No,
yes.
not right now. Not right now.
I say
think
not
we're
right
both
now.
tired,
I give
right?
out a little bit of a laugh. So
Yeah, I
But
need
yes,
to do
good-
some
me
adjusting.
my other transformations next time.
I shall have to see what they are.
Yes. I have this spiny tail that I can get.
Tail?
It's like-
Mandibles.
That sounds interesting.
It's amazing.
And dangerous.
Do not have such creatures in where I come from.
Well, I mean, it's just crab stuff. I'm sure you know what a crab is. Although I guess crabs don't usually have spiny tails, but
Not typically.
I am more
Some of them
I
do.
am more familiar with the snow beasts of the north, but perhaps I could
northerner.
do some research. Yes.
Well, all right. Well, good luck to you in your future battles.
Likewise to you, friend. Likewise to you.
All right. So we will go ahead and end it there
Yes.
with you having just made 2 new friends
Yay, friendship.
and a promised outing to the tavern next time.
Indeed.
So, for those of you watching, thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
Yes, next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And stream done.
I'm muting for a second.
Okay.
All right.
I was
So
a
that
bus-
went well.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
went really well. I was a busy.
Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to raid my friend. He is playing Pokemon. So yeah, go over there and join in. Behave. Be good. Follow rules. So yeah, have fun. So yeah, have fun, guys. Bye for now.